Trying to remember the name of that movie. Was it Bad Grandpa or something like that? I don't know if you guys remember that movie. Why does it seem like that we have just a large amount of grandparents coming out in the news that are accused of doing just the most horrible things? And this is another set of grandparents that are accused of doing something very heinous. But before I get into the details, you guys know, if this is your first time here, I got to give you a warning so you'll know the type of content you're getting into. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And yes, these are grandparents. It's crazy. But you know what? Maybe I shouldn't think it's so crazy because this story is coming out of a little place called Chicago. So should I really be surprised that there is violence in Chicago? No, I don't think so. Lawandcrime.com, thank you for the article. A 5-year-old Illinois girl died over the weekend in Chicago metropolitan area, and now her grandparents are in jail. Yes, the grandparents. And here's what you'd have to ask, because that was actually the biological mother. So you'd have to ask, where's the biological father? Where's the biological mother? Why aren't they taking care of this child? Why did this child end up in the custody? She's got such a beautiful smile. Do you guys know, even before I had my own daughter, that I've helped raise kids? When you're in relationships with women that have kids, it's very easy to get attached to those kids. You want to see them grow up and become something great. But I've had numerous opportunities to be around little kids around this girl's age and watch them grow up, and a lot of them are grown now and doing their thing, man. But I remember not only kids this age, but my daughter being this age, and it's just, I mean, I didn't want to do anything except for just keep that smile on my daughter's face all the time. Just anything I could do, whether it be taking her to the mall, take her to the park, buy her something, take her to her favorite restaurant. I wanted to keep that smile on my daughter's face. And that's a beautiful little girl. And I'm telling you guys, from what I understand, this was a happy baby. What this girl got, she did not deserve at all. It's with a heavy heart that we share the death of Jada, Jada Moore, Moore. Press release issued by the Park Forest Police Department. The men and women of the Park Forest Police Department wish to express their deepest sympathy to Jada's family and friends and grieve the tragic loss of the child's life. Now, late Friday night, just before 11 p.m., a 911 call was made to dispatchers serving the small village just south of Chicago, Southside Chicago. Okay. A planned community that's been an explicit part of the Windy City suburbs since after World War II. Park Forest police and paramedics were asked to come to a house on Osage Street due to an unresponsive 5-year-old girl. The police department released a statement. And the allegations suggest that at least one aspect of the criminal case was fairly open and shut. Clint, Klent, Elwoods, who's 62 years old, that's the girl's grandfather on the left-hand side of the screen, and the person who dialed 911 that night. Elwoods allegedly admitted to abusing his granddaughter on the same emergency phone call, according to police. Upon arrival, officers and paramedics immediately performed CPR. The PFPD said that the child was rushed to a nearby Franciscan Health Olympia Fields Hospital. Just rushed to the hospital. I don't know why they put so many words there. Eventually, she was airlifted to Comer Children's Hospital in Chicago. Moore, however, would succumb to her various injuries, around 9 a.m. the next morning. Those injuries included signs of recent physical abuse, as well as older indicators, according to the police. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office on Sunday determined her death was caused by multiple injuries inflicted during child abuse, according to the Chicago Tribune. Law and Crime reached out to the medical examiner's office for additional details on the story, but they weren't immediately forthcoming. Elwoods, meanwhile, was taken into custody along with his wife. The girl's grandfather and grandmother, Lisa Jones, who was 57 years old on the right-hand side of the screen, would both allegedly admit to physically abusing Jada during interviews with detectives. On Saturday, the evidence against them was presented to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Elwoods and Jones currently stand accused of 1 count each of murder in the first degree for the death of their grandchild. What do you think is going to happen with the first degree murder charge? Life in prison if they are convicted. The duo were slated to appear in a Cook County courthouse on Monday for a bond hearing. Inquiries to the county clerk and state's attorneys as to the status of that hearing were not immediately returned. Law enforcement has not said what type of abuse the young girls suffered. But we black around here, right? We's black folks over here. I can tell you exactly what type of abuse this little girl went through. Just like she's sitting there eating the cake. Don't eat that cake like that, and they probably smacked the hell out of her. She probably was running around, smiling, and jumping around like a little girl that age would do. They probably took a shoe and smacked her in the back of the head. Stop running around this house like that, right? She was probably, doing like a typical kid that age and jumping on the bed. And they came in and took her and grabbed her by the neck and probably threw her against the wall, and she flipped over backwards and halfway broke her neck. They was like, stop jumping in that bed before I give you something to cry about. See, white people ain't gonna find that funny. But black people all too often know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Most of the stuff that we went through was not discipline. It was not considered spanking. Even some of us joke about it and say that, oh yeah, I used to get beatings when I was growing up. When you ever heard somebody say that their parents beat them within an inch of their life? Well, that's what that looks like when that inch is inches over that line and the child's body can't survive it. And that's why I've always been against this physical abuse, spanking, whooping, beating culture that black folks have adopted from slavery and think that it's okay. We talk about how bad the slave masters were and white people and racism and the racist police and system. But then we turn around and treat our kids like shit. And then we excuse it. That's how I was raised. So if you were raised with nothing, then why would you give your kids nothing or worse? I don't understand how we don't understand the concept that we need to upgrade. And if we didn't have something, maybe we make sure our kids do have something so that when they have something, maybe when they produce a family, they can give their kids even more. But that's not what we do. We continue to keep robbing each generation going forward, misusing and abusing them. Isn't that something? I got a lot more to say, but I'm going to try to keep this brief. So, black folks, keep your panties and boxers on. Lock them up real tight. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And I know people a lot of times ask me, like, why am I not just as animated about the white community as I am the black community? Because I'm sorry, I didn't grow up in the white community. I don't know the white plight. I didn't grow up in a white household, so I don't know what the plight is like. I can see it from the outside looking in, but with black folks, I was on the inside looking out. So I know exactly what that is. So I speak to my experience. If you guys would do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, and please remember that we're here for Jada Moore, not for these grandparents who were just terrible people. Please hit that thumbs up. Here we go.
It's been an emotional evening in South Suburban Park Forest, where a vigil is being held for a 5-year-old girl.
And Jada Moore was found dead over the weekend, an apparent victim of abuse. Her grandparents are now charged in her death. NBC5's Lexi Suter joining us live tonight with the story. Lexi?
Steph and I spoke with Jada's mother tonight, and she's just devastated. She says Jada was temporarily living with her grandfather and his wife, and her mom, Kim, had no idea Jada was in danger.
You 12?
Sweet, sassy, and just 5 years old.
I'm eating some cake.
Jada Moore lit up every room in her mother's life.
My light has dimmed completely.
Police say Jada's grandfather, Clint Elwoods, and his wife, Lisa Jones, admitted to abusing the 5-year-old while she was temporarily in their custody. Paramedics arrived at the couple's Park Forest home on Friday to find Jada naked and limp on the couch.
I want to know why.
Let me rewind that because I forgot about that part. God help me. I almost forgot about that part. Y'all are going to hear a whole nother evil in my tone of voice. Let me rewind this so y'all can hear this again. How did they find this little girl?
Park Forest home on Friday to find Jada naked and limp on the couch. On Friday to find Jada naked and limp on the couch. Medics arrived at the couple's Park Forest home on Friday to find Jada naked and limp on the couch. Medics arrived at the couple's Park Forest home on Friday to find Jada naked and limp on the couch.
Y'all asked the vital question. Please tell me y'all heard that. Why was this little girl naked? They found her with zero clothes on. So what the hell was even going on here? That's just what the news said. That's how they found her. Let's hear it again. This little girl was naked for what?
While she was temporarily in their custody.
Keep in mind that the medical examiner hasn't officially released everything, every bit of damage that's been done to this girl. What do you want to bet that there's probably more that's going to be revealed in court? What y'all want to bet that there was probably something sexual going on too? Lord have mercy.
Arrived at the couple's Park Forest home on Friday to find Jada naked and limp on the couch.
I want to know why. I thought that man was a stand-up guy, and he's really a monster. Him and his wife.
Now neighbors, Park Forest residents, and people who didn't even know Jada are joining together, praying for her family and honoring the young girl.
So today we just celebrate life, a life gone too soon.
Lighting candles outside the home where Jada was hurt and calling for community and healing as this quiet block copes with tragedy.
I appreciate every single person who has come out for my daughter, every single prayer, every donation, anything that is related to my daughter. I truly appreciate each and every one of you.
1, 2, 3. As we release these balloons, we thank God for the life of Jada.
Stop doing balloon releases. It's becoming illegal in some states, and all you're doing is just trashing your community. Stop doing it.
We thank God for you. We thank you, Lord, for your love. We thank you for this community.
And Jada's mother tells me she had temporarily turned over custody to her father because she was getting a new job. She was having some financial struggles and she simply needed help.
Let me pause it right there because I'm going to tell y'all this. Initially, when I was reading this story, I wanted to get mad at the mom. And I'm actually not. And let me explain why. The mom was literally looking to her family to help her just for a second, just for a moment in time, for her to get back on her feet with a job. Isn't that what grandparents are for? just to give you a buffer, just for a moment. That's part of this family circle, this community between grandmothers, grandfathers, uncles, cousins, aunties. Isn't that what the family circle is for? For that type of thing, hold on to her just for a second. Let me handle this over here, and I'm coming right back to get her. Supposed to, man. Oh, my Lord. I just get more and more mad every time I think about this. Couple more news videos. If you guys are listening, I forgot to ask, please hit that thumbs up. If you're listening to this story and share this video, please hit that thumbs up. So she's got another court date coming up here. Just a beautiful little girl, man.
Was to pick her daughter back up next month and bring her home to enroll her in school.
$30 days. They killed that girl and whatever the hell else they did to her in 30 days. They couldn't give the mom a solid 30 days of not abusing her daughter so she could come back and enroll this baby in school to go to work. And I'm just like, damn, like you can't trust a grandparent. I've stayed plenty of days, plenty of nights with my grandparents. Either me or all three of us, including my siblings, me and my brother and my sister, would stay at my grandparents' house, would stay at my aunt's house, or whomever's house. If you can't trust your grandparents, man, who can you trust? 30 days. We're not talking about a mother who left her child for 2 or 3 years. That was barely 2 to 3 weeks. Not 2 to 3 months. 3 to 4 weeks.
52-year-old Clint Elwoods and 57-year-old Lisa Jones are charged with first-degree murder, admitting they had physically abused Jada. Last Friday,
After view for my baby. Well,
I'm trying to say, I think I have this video. Let me see if it's here. I think it is here.
Boyfriend and her child's father literally had to carry her out of the medical examiner's office after she identified her own daughter here.
It says happy birthday.
It says happy birthday. So whose birthday was it?
It was mine.
And how old are you now?
5.
Clint Elwoods and his
Y'all hear her voice?
Happy.
out of the medical examiner's office after.
It's just a little girl, man. I don't understand. I don't understand this, and I'm trying my best not to use a bunch of foul language and curse words. You just hear this baby's voice. She's a baby. She sounds so intelligent, so happy, and so bright. And I'm thankful that we even got to hear this moment on video, and I want y'all to hear her voice again.
She identified her own daughter here.
It says happy birthday.
It says happy birthday. So whose birthday was it?
It was mine.
And how old are you now?
5.
And she's well spoken. I guarantee you there's not a thing that this baby could have did that would have made anybody upset. These people wanted to abuse this girl the way that they did.
Elwoods and his wife Lisa Jones, both charged with murdering their own granddaughter, Jada Moore.
I'm all out of tears. I look at him as a monster. I don't even want to carry his last name no more.
Court documents say last Friday, Elwoods dialed 911, telling a dispatcher, quote, "I was beating my little granddaughter and now she is out of it." The alleged abuse occurred inside the couple's home here along Osage Street in Park Forest. Police found Jada laying on the couch naked, with detectives obtaining Jada's shorts and soiled underwear. Also, a calendar on the refrigerator detailing 4 dates last month when her undergarments were allegedly soiled.
Not nan time has she ever said, "Mama, I'm scared. Mama, come get me. He's hitting me. They're beating me." Nothing like that.
With bruises all over her body and marks consistent with a pattern of ongoing abuse, according to the ME. Jada also suffered bleeding on her brain. She died at Comer Children's Hospital. Jada's mother today identifying her body at the morgue.
My baby's face was disfigured.
But here's what matters most. From infancy...
Where's your eyes?
Look at her beautiful little eyes, man. I don't understand that, man. I'm trying to keep from crying, and I don't understand that. I don't. That hurts, man. That hurts.
From infancy...
Look at her beautiful little eyes. I can't think of nothing except protecting her and keep that smile on her face.
Your eyes.
To twirling, young Jada leaves behind a world of great memories.
I loved to dress her up when she was a baby. She was a princess. She was very sweet, always smiling, even in the midst of everything that she endured.
Tell me what you're eating.
I'm eating some cake.
And what kind of cake was it?
It was a balloon cake.
It was a what kind of cake?
A balloon cake.
But what was the cake for?
It was for me.
Now, those grandparents both remain in custody. They're being held without bond, due back in court next month. We just received a word that neighbors in that community will be hosting a vigil tomorrow outside of the home from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. There's also a growing GoFundMe account to help the mother with funeral arrangements as she's now looking to transfer her daughter's remains back to Georgia.
So I didn't find that GoFundMe. If y'all find it, feel free to support it. I can't find any fault with the mom, because like I said, you should be able to address your grandparents and to your kid, and it's like it wasn't even 30 days, and what did this little girl do? And I want y'all to think about this. This wasn't an all of a sudden thing. They said they found signs of ongoing abuse, so that means they probably was abusing this girl from the moment that she got there up until her death. If we find out more, which I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be more that the medical examiner is going to reveal, and I'm pretty sure that we know what those details are going to be, then by all means, I don't know if Chicago has the death penalty, but life in prison would seem suitable to finish out their miserable lives. But to Jada, I just need to get these people off my screen, because I'm going to say something that's going to get me flagged. Young princess, R.I.P. I'm partial to babies with the name that start with J. Jada. I'm Jay. Very partial to that. But R.I.P. princess. Let me know what you guys think about this story. Leave a comment in the comment section if there's something I missed. Also, let me know. But let's start having this conversation. Let's start to drum these stories up. And this needs to be mainstream news, and everybody needs to know what's going on. We need to stay informed about everything that's going on with our babies, okay? So hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Thank you.